Okay, we're back for episode 2 of Adventures in Lankhmar. And guys, just run around and introduce yourself if you wouldn't mind. Will?
Hi, I'm Will. I'm playing Ivlis, the thug from the Cold Wastes, whose special attributes are he always knows where north is, and he's an outcast hated by his own people.
And the party around him.
Yes, everybody. Andrew?
I'm playing Farfeared, a Mingol with very little personality, which goes down a treat with me.
Would you like to add anything to that? No.
Yeah, and Chris, I'm playing Teebeedee, a wizard from the 8 cities, and seem to have some growing affinity for magic with the colour blue. Things seem to go well when I think about blue things when I'm experimenting with magic.
Things go well when I think about blue. Blue. Right, well, when we left you, you were in the basement vault of, what was his name? Igric? The
Igric of the East, Caravan Master.
Yes, Caravan Master. And you've stolen the contents of his vault after many tribulations and battles. But you've just killed some thieves, and now you've got to work out a way to actually get out of this society party without being captured by the house guards and thrown in jail and left to rot for the rest of your life.
Sorry, Peter, we didn't search the thieves' bodies. Can we search the thieves' bodies, please?
You can, yes. They've just got a few silver pieces on them each, so in total there's 3 of them. They have 7 silver smurduks.
Excellent. Who's our treasurer?
I'll make a note of this. 3 daggers and 7 silver smurduks. Always get the thief to look after the money. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Have any of them got thieves' tools?
Good point. Make a luck roll.
6. It's a 6.
Okay. Right. You managed to cobble together a set of thieves' tools between the 3 of them. Not really high quality or anything, but enough to keep you going. So if I were you, I'd stick with the lucky one that you used before. I thought that did a fantastic job. But
yeah,
well, I'll keep those too. But now at least I've got there's more to thieves' tools than just a hairpin, which I think was what we managed to cobble together. It's
still not as good as buying your own set, though, so there'll be a slight modifier. Maybe -1 on using it. So really, Will could possibly mingle as a waiter, and Chris could mingle as a guest, and the mingle couldn't really mingle.
Could mingle.
Although
he doesn't need to mingle, though.
I was working up to that joke for so long, and I fluffed the end by laughing at it.
Can we see what spoils we've managed to retrieve? What did you actually bring out from that room, Andrew? What's the loot?
Right, there's a wooden case. Who wants to open that?
I'll check it for traps
first. Just check for traps. 19.
That's a great roll. You can't see any traps. It just looks like a normal case. It's just got a little latch on it, but it's not locked.
Let's open it.
So you open the wooden case, and you see a whole lot of paperwork inside. And you rifle through it, and it seems to be, not that you're particularly experienced in this kind of thing, but there seems to be deeds, contracts, and other business records pertaining to Igric's caravan operations.
Well, we'll keep that. That's fine. But what else have we got?
There's a chain mesh bag.
You see through the chain mesh?
No, it's a very close chain mesh.
Can we open it? Yeah.
You open up the top. Well, it's got the clink of... There's definitely the clink of coins, and you open it up, and you find a whole bunch of coins. Would you like to count them?
Not just at the moment.
What sort of coins are they? Are they gold or silver or what?
There's gold rilks, silver smurduks, copper pennies, and a few iron ticks.
There you go. Okay, we'll look at that in detail later. What else is there?
Okay, there's a small coffer. Thank you.
Boom, boom. Are you going to check for traps again there, Will?
10.
Right. You can't find any traps that you can see. It doesn't appear to be locked. You open it up, and you see nestling in a bed of ebony satin what must be the key of the unwitnessed sisterhood. It's fashioned from gold and bears 3 unusually cut amethysts of darkest purple along its length. They're in lozenge, crescent, and trapezoidal-shaped cuts. It measures 8 inches long and looks to be worth a lot of money.
Presumably, we'd heard something about what the key is for, which is why we're here.
Would you like to
Is there a
examine it
particular...
further?
I look at it more quickly. I will more closely.
Okay, make an intelligence check.
Oh, now we're in trouble. Not that I'm in any great position to be judging with
No,
intelligence.
I've got a 9
very
intelligence.
quickly.
Who's got the best intelligence? Chris, you have a look at it.
Give that to me, he says, you bumbling oaf.
Hand it over
I
here.
kill him.
Looks very interesting. Okay. Oh, that would be
Ugh.
5 plus 1, 6.
It just seems like a key to you.
Okay, I
You
say
can't
give
work
it,
out.
give it to me. Give it to me.
Doesn't look like much to me. The gems look pretty.
2.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh.
It's fine. There's
Hand it
nothing
over, you
interesting there.
bungling fools. I'll have a go.
Right, Will
One.
doesn't even have...
What is it?
Well, that's
Is
a
it a
one.
key?
This is like the Three Stooges all trying to work it out. However, Will, because he's a thief, doesn't need to roll. He immediately works out that it's actually composed of 3 interlocking parts, cunningly designed to be unnoticed. In fact, the other 2 didn't notice it at all. You can actually disassemble these 3 parts if you wish.
Aha. Okay, this is the only way that we're going to trust each other. Each one of us takes a
Yep.
part.
Yep, agree.
Most
Can I
of you.
take it apart?
You can. And inside, you find there's a hollow cavity inside containing a small rolled piece of vellum that smells faintly of temple incense.
Who can read?
Is there anything written on it? Chris can read.
Yes, there's writing in both a foreign script and in High Lankhmarese.
Unfortunately, I lost my comprehend languages spell in the encounter.
Right. You can speak High
Can you read
Lankhmarese.
it anyway?
Yeah.
What does it say?
I can.
The High Lankhmarese reads the following. Beneath neither cup nor chain nor moon do I stand, but under the gaze of visage face, secret and awaiting the touch of hand, is where our resting place is to be found, safe from thief, heretic, or sniffing hound.
The Sisterhood were really, really bad poets.
They always are, aren't they? You know?
They are.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to say X. How do I get the words to squeeze in? Do we know what the foreign word language is?
Whoever wants to try can make an intelligence check.
12.
So, you identify the script. You don't know how to read it, but you identify it as a script called Ottershif. It's an obscure desert tongue.
Yeah, the
someone
poetry
else-
could be better in the original language.
There's only one thing you know is that since you don't know anything more about this script, you may be able to find someone in the Plaza of Dark Delights who could
Yeah,
identify
that's
it.
what I said. We had to find some otterfishers. Okay.
Black Sabbath.
Okay,
So
well then
there are
I'd
two-
suggest we take a piece of the key each.
Can you tell me who takes the lozenge-sized, the one with the lozenge-sized gem, the one with the crescent-sized gem, and the one with the trapezoid?
I'll take the lozenge.
So what
I'll
do you
take the
want?
crescent.
Andrew,
Is that what you said?
Yeah, you take the
Yeah, I'll
crescent.
take the
Andrew
trapezoid.
takes the trapezoid. I'm just wondering whether I should go out and go up to that room, the pantry, and see whether there's any way from there that you might be able to get out without being seen too much.
Looking for
So
wine.
how about I go up? How about I go up the rope and reconnoiter what's outside the room?
You shimmy up the rope while the other 2 are huddled over the coins on the floor, counting it up.
Oh, there's no gold after all. You just
oh,
got gold.
no, I had a good look in there. I've got a pretty good idea of how much is in there.
Okay, Will, you go up into the pantry. So it's a small pantry. It's a decent-sized pantry. Shelves, foodstuffs, salamis hang from the ceiling, that kind of thing. There's one door out, and you can hear sounds of activity on the other side of the door.
I'll listen at the door. It sounds like the activities of a kitchen?
It does, yes. There's clattering and banging and shouting of orders and people moving around. Lots of activity.
Okay, have I been in that
You
kitchen
should-
before?
Make a luck roll.
6.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you did go in, and you got at one stage you grabbed a tray of food and you were taking it around as part of your cover.
On that visit in, did I get a sense of the layout? Like, is there is there more than one door out of the place, basically?
I'll describe it to you because you did take note of this. Yeah. So there's one door of the pantry. So on your, if you come out of the pantry door, right to your left, I mean directly to your left, there's a door that leads out into the corridor of the first floor. There's also an outside, opposite on the other side of the kitchen, there's a door that leads to the outside. And there's another door in the same wall that you're in, to your right, and you don't know where that leads.
How long's the kitchen?
It's probably about 30 feet by 25 feet, and you're on the long end.
I like the sound of it's
the corner.
An exit outside.
Yeah, so when you say it goes outside, does that go out into a courtyard or a garden?
Well,
or
you
something?
know it's an outside door, but you don't know where it leads. Since you're on the first floor, it probably leads to a set of stairs that goes down to the outside.
I'll come back and report that finding. And in the meantime, we can share out the coins. What's the total?
50 gold rilks, 157 silver smurdooks, 186 copper pennies, and 14 iron ticks.
It's quite a stash.
Yep, more money than you've seen in your entire lifetime.
Have we got time to split this 3 ways now?
Well, there doesn't seem to be any pressing need for time.
What's the?
You can
if
have
you
the
go
daggers
back up the.
and the
We go
thieves'
back out
tools.
the way we came in to this cellar. Where does that lead to?
That leads to a corridor off the main hall.
And where does the corridor lead
And
to?
presume
They know.
Oh, that corridor
Will and
leads
I
to the
came
main
in this
hall,
way.
but I mean, obviously there are lots of doors off that corridor, and they go to you don't know what guest rooms, perhaps.
which
I'm
doesn't
inclined
sound-
just to go up the rope and just walk straight across the kitchen and out.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly the shortest.
because you and I look official, Will, so we could like holding a clipboard. You look like you belong. So grab something out of the pantry.
Yep.
I'll be complaining. I'll complain about the service and see if we can.
Yeah, and
I can be
your
his guard.
Who hasn't washed in a couple of days? So I'll complain about that too.
So you all shimmy up the shaft and find yourself in the pantry.
I'll just open the door a crack and have a look
All
through.
food.
Okay, so you open the door crack and you look through and you see a very large, very bustling kitchen. There's several chefs and obviously one big head chef guy who's ordering everybody around. There's waiters walking around, food being laid out, waiters picking up trays of food and taking them outside. And you also notice that standing in front of the outside door, what look like 2 hired thugs. You know there's a door to your left which leads out into the house, and you know there's another door further along this wall that you're in, but you don't know where that leads. Right, can someone with the person with the lowest luck make a luck check, please?
My luck is 9.
13.
Yep, that'd be Will. He's got the lowest luck.
16.
16. Okay, so as you're all chatting, the door goes bangs open, and what looks like a waiter walks in and sees you all standing there and says, "What?
Expecting that to happen.
What are you all doing in here? Who are you?"
I'll grab him and shut the
Let's go
door.
for it.
Okay, make a dexterity check.
9.
Oh, 9. So you sort of lunge for him, but he goes, "Wait, guards!
Okay.
Guards!"
Burst through. We just burst through the door. Absolutely burst through the door. Slam across the room straight into the guards.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you can't do that because the room is full of large
matter, just-
wooden tables and all kinds of things. So you've got to navigate your way around these
No,
tables.
we don't. We
past-
just run across the table.
Yes.
Just jump up on the table, slam across the table, slide along the table, straight into the guards.
Okay, so you go.
You've seen it in the movies.
Right, so what order are you going in? What's the order? as
I'll
you
go
run across
first.
the tables?
Yeah, do
followed
first.
by?
I'll go next. Chris, can you get chill touch or something ready?
Sure.
Force manipulation. Or enlarge. Maybe we could enlarge some ham hock or something and beat someone to death with it.
Okay.
No, I can enlarge Andrew. That'll scare the crap out of him.
But then he won't be able to fit through the door. Actually, not our
I'm
problem.
sure he can
Good
fit through the
idea.
door.
I've got a third of the key.
Okay, suddenly there is utter madness and chaos. You come charging out into this kitchen, which already was chaos and madness. There's fires burning, there's pots bubbling on the stove, there's food out on the tables, there's drink and goblets and wine and everything, people serving and waiters walking around balancing large trays of food. And you come smashing out into the middle of it. Waiters go flying, food goes flying, trays go smashing against the doors, absolute chaos. Everyone's going, what up? They're screaming and shouting. And you go lunging over the tables. Running presumably directly for these two guards who are at the back window, yes, back door, who
at its best.
already are reaching for their weapons. So,
That's right. That
Andrew,
doesn't constitute a degree of surprise.
It certainly does. It certainly does. Which is why you might have enough time to actually get across the room before they get to react. But before we get to roll initiative. So, can you please, Andrew, make an agility check to try and jump over this table? It's just we'll give it a value of 10. It's got to be 10.
Average size table. Average leap.
Yes, he has.
Oh,
yes.
Okay. He does a beautiful
Clears the
leap over the table. Food goes scattering everywhere, just slides across the top of it, soup splashing all over your gear, people jumping to left and right, absolute madness. Will, can you do the same?
I take 10 seconds, wait, and just lick. Is it good soup?
Good soup,
6.
yeah. Will, however,
Slams into the table.
goes to go for the same jump. Unfortunately, his feet clip the edge of the table and he goes sprawling face first into a huge blancmange.
How did I know it was going to be a blancmange?
They're always there when you need them.
They're on the ceiling.
We have the classic shot of Will's head rising from the blanche, just going. But Chris, unfortunately, you're behind this.
Remember, you're a waiter, Will.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think the time for that deception has passed. So, Chris, you'll have to beat 12 instead of 10 because Will has just blocked the.
Shown how it's done.
Yeah, shown him how it's done.
Okay,
so
so that's
4.
Oh, 4. Oh, no. So Will smashing into the blancmange and sprawling over the table causes you to completely misjudge your jump, and you just go smacking up behind him and basically bashing yourself against him and hitting your knee, and just, it's absolute chaos. Farfeet, of course, has cleared the table and is on his way to clear the next table because there is another table. But unfortunately, the two of you are now sprawled, well, Will is sprawled over the first table. Chris is backed up behind him, and people are screaming and running around. And you see out of the corner of your eye the other door that was on the wall where you came in opens, and out of there come some other guards.
Oh, God,
In
who
fact,
has
there
a
are.
guard? Who has a guard post in a kitchen, for God's sake?
There are 2 of them. So there are 2 at the door you're running for, and there are 2 coming for you behind you. Well, obviously, it's a good thing he did, because there are criminals in his kitchen trying to escape with his worldly goods. So I would have called
Stop
that
giving
pretty
me rational
far-sighted.
justifications.
So I want you all to roll initiative, please.
Oh, 1. There
Probably
is ever a
appropriate.
time not to roll a 1. That has to be it.
17. Oh,
Nice. So, Andrew, what did you get?
10 plus 1, 11.
TBD is the first one to react, probably because you just managed to stop short because of
Avoid the blancmange.
you couldn't jump over the table and avoid
Yeah.
the blancmange. So, what do you want to do?
Enlarge the blancmange.
okay. That's the blancmange.
Enlarge the blancmange.
People are running and
So are they?
screaming. It's madness.
So are the 2 guards coming out of the other door?
Yeah, so they're
are we
sort of
engaged
behind
with them
you
now?
to
Is
the
that why we
right.
rolled initiative?
Yep.
Hey, Will,
They're
I know what
behind
you
you
can
to
say.
the
You look
right.
like a waiter. You should say, point at me and say, catch that man.
Yeah,
Distract
that's what I was planning on doing as soon as I get my head out of the blancmange.
Can I pull
Chris,
Will up?
Chris, the
Can I
guards
take an
behind
action
you
to pull
will.
Will up?
You can, yeah. The guards behind you will probably take their round to actually come up and reach you.
You're going to have to deal with them somehow. Is there anything
Actually,
you can enlarge?
Not
between
necessarily,
them and
because
us?
just to make it clear, when you have your round, you get to do 2 things. You can do a movement and you can do an action. So you can actually move and then do an action. You don't use your action to move.
That's
I
an
can
action.
get up. You either just get over to the other side and attack the two guards at the door, or try and do something to the two coming behind us. I think we should just escape from the two behind us.
We should try and get to the door. Try and stay
Yeah.
one step ahead.
Just move.
Well, you can try.
Right.
You can try and run around the table.
I'll try and keep up with Farfield.
Okay. You can't go under the table because it's one of those tables with shelves underneath it, full of pots and pans and things like that. So
Right.
you
So
can
gotta
run
run
around the
it.
table. Yep.
Okay, I'll run
Okay.
around.
Just make another luck test for me.
3.
Oh,
So you run around the table and you go barreling straight into this very large, very angry chef who is wielding a meat cleaver. Andrew, what do you do?
I should take them out, but you guys just look around, see if there's any oil or anything that's worth sort of throwing into the fire or throwing on people, or use everything we've got to hurt people. But I'll try and take out these guys. So
These innocent kitchen staff, you mean?
nobody's innocent if they're working for an evil guy. It's the Clark's thing in terms of the Death Star when they blew it up, and they're saying, "What about those poor workers?" And it's like, if you're working for the Empire, you're
Even if
immediately
you're a
on
slave.
the bad side. Yeah. Well,
It's the Nuremberg
listen, these
defense.
guys aren't slaves. These guys,
Maybe-
exactly.
Maybe
There's-
just trying to pay for food for your wife and children.
Yeah, they don't have to work for a dick to do it. That's my view of the world. And they don't need to get in my way. Anyway, it's irrelevant.
He's actually just a merchant. He's not actually an evil merchant. He's just a merchant. But anyway.
There's no other kind.
Every merchant is evil. I go for these guys. I move and then attack.
Well, unfortunately, there's another table between you and them.
Let's move over it.
You
Just
were
a
to
table, for
jump over
Christ's
the
sake. How
table?
hard is it to get over a table? Particularly if you're on
Well,
a
it's-
table.
No, if you'll just
Can't you
imagine it,
jump
Will, it's
from
one of
to the
those.
next?
No, just imagine it. It's one of those very large wooden kitchen tables covered with all kinds of implements, food, all kinds of stuff. Imagine those sort of, country manners. Make a agility test.
18!
Oh, yeah, you
On
do just a
fire.
beautiful vault. It's impressive, really. You vaulted over the first table, landed, vaulted over the second one, hardly disturbing so much as a condiment, and smash over.
Except for the soup, which I tasted on my way.
Stop, you dip it into the tureen. Meanwhile, I'm face down in the blancmange.
like the
Grabs a bottle of
speech.
Shout
Sure,
out as I go. I say, Ivlis, how's the blancmange? So I'm going to attack one of them.
What do you want to do over the other side? Do you want to just land a blow?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think really that lunging over the table should really be your action. That's not a normal move, so I can't give you a blow as well as on top of that.
Well,
yeah,
can I
give you a go.
slam
I'll give
into
it-
him?
Yeah, okay. Let me see if I can do that. How do I do that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll treat that as grappling. So each party makes an opposed attack rolls, adding the higher of their agility or strength modifier. It's pretty good.
Right, so that makes me 16.
Excellent. Well, they got 1, so you go, you slam into them,
Wow.
and just both of your feet just go into both of them, and they fall backwards and whack against the back of wall where the door is, and you all land in a heap on the ground. They were going next, and so they spend their turn scrambling to their feet.
Just going to get up and keep going.
And
try to
compliment
get
the
over
chef.
table.
Right, could you make a check test using Dexter agility, please, Will? You have to beat an 8.
9.
9. Yes, you
Oh.
don't slip and slide in
+1.
the blancmange. Well, there was a
But
chance
you
that
almost hit. There's a slight slipperiness, but you get away.
you managed to get your bum under you again, and you're sitting on the table. What do you do?
I just want to get up and go over the next table, get to the door.
Why don't you just roll over the table that you're on? Roll over to the other side, and then
Yeah, okay. I'll roll over to the other side and then try and jump the other and climb over the other table.
Okay, agility check.
3.
Oh, 3. Oh, no. Oh,
where's another blancmange? A second blancmange. No, not
No,
the
no.
We left all our good rolls downstairs.
No, this one
Down in the
This
cellar.
is it was the culminating confectionery, the amazing cake that the chef had ever created in his entire career. A towering confection of icing and what do you call it, sponge. You go ploughing headfirst into it.
Is this the same chef with the cleaver?
Yeah, and he's standing next to you, though.
The chef is now really not very happy at all.
As his life's
Yeah, like,
work
"Not the cake."
crumbles.
Not the cake!
Well, you're covered in several layers of solidified foodstuffs. The guards
I'm laughing
Guards
so
behind
hard.
Chris. Oh dear. The guards behind Chris, running up to try and attack him, they run towards you and they have a hack because you've been pulled up short by the chef. They managed to get to you to have a hack, and here we go. There's two of them. They're wielding short swords. Misses and just hits the table instead. The other one rolls 11. He hits and does 1 point of damage. It basically just slaps you with the flat of the sword, really. You're lucky.
Oh, not the coat.
It's more
not
like
the
take
coat.
off a hand
Please,
when
not
you've
the
only
coat.
got 6 hit points.
Fine, so I've got on one side of me, I've got a chef with a cleaver. I'm just going to yell at him and say, "Not the cake!" And
Oh, he's already
behind
seen
me,
that.
I've
He's
got
horrified. He's not literally going to attack you, Chris, but he is so large that he's got completely in the way, and he's just sort of waving this cleaver around. He hasn't quite found a
Kicking in the
target yet.
balls.
All right, so I'm going to go with the force manipulation. Okay, 8 plus 2 is 10.
That's lost.
2 is 10.
Failure.
Also means I can't cast it again this day.
Andrew, what do you do?
I attack whoever's on the ground.
No, they're up now. They spent their turn getting up, so
Okay, that's right.
you can
I will.
because you were ready. I'll say you can get up and attack.
15.
12.
15.
Plus
That's
3.
a hit.
15. And the damage is...
1.
I only did 4.
That's right. It's enough to kill him. So you whip up your battle axe and just clip the side of his head and slice a piece of his face off, and he just collapses to the ground, going.
Awesome!
Right, but the other one immediately reacts by lunging towards you with his short sword. He rolls and gets 12 plus 1. That's 13. That's a hit. Oh, bloody hell! 1 point of damage. You're luck of the gods.
Oh, unbelievable. Everyone's rolling badly, including you.
Ivlis, what do you do?
I'm going to get up.
cake.
I'm going to get up and help Teebeedee. I'll just come wading in.
This was the second table you just sprawled all over, so you're actually behind the chef.
Oh, okay, so I'd have to get past the chef to get back to help him.
Yeah,
Okay,
all
well, then
over the
forget
table.
that. I'll abandon Teebeedee and I'll go and attack the other guy. No,
Okay.
hang on. Just a look around me. Is there what's in the immediate vicinity,
Why
like
don't you-
within arm's reach?
Well, you're pretty much on the confectionery table, so there's a lot of sugary treats and impressive sweetmeats and things on this particular table.
juice.
There's no boiling soups or anything. That was back
Is there
with the
anything hanging from the
blancmanges.
ceiling, like pots and pans or legs of ham?
Oh yeah.
or-
There's lots of pots and pans hanging over the top of you. Yeah.
Why don't you hamstring the chef? Make him fall down.
No.
He's just trying to make an honest living. He's got a wife and 2 kids.
He's actually got 3 kids, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So I'll just reach up and start grabbing saucepans and whatever I can grab to hand and throwing it at the 2 guards. Oh, knives! If there's any knives or anything to hand or legs of ham, whatever, just that I can throw. That's
Okay. Yeah,
Actually, you know what? I've got the 3 daggers that I took off the thieves. I'll start throwing those.
Anything like, legs of ham, anything similar to daggers. It's like, yeah, why are they similar to daggers?
Well,
Or I could use a dagger.
actually, I wonder what's more effective. Do you think throwing a saucepan at somebody's head or throwing a dagger?
Saucepan
Well,
in this melee, particularly if there's stuff in it.
I'll just grab the
Okay.
nearest bunch of saucepans down and start pegging them at these 2. We're out
Oh,
of 5.
miss. Okay, since you're just throwing pans and shit, I'll let you throw another one on your turn.
3. Oh, God.
3. Oh, it's laughable. They just fall short, bounce off the table, boom, brain a waiter who's running screaming out of the way. Unfortunately, there are two guards behind Chris, and they've got no other target. Okay, so the first one lunges at you with his short sword. You've got an armor class of 11.
11.
Oh, God, he rolls a 20.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's a critical hit. Do they get critical? They get crits, don't they?
Nah.
Oh. Oh, Chris, you step into the attack. You flick plus what D8 damage.
Oh, God.
Shit, it's D6 and a D8.
You're dead.
Oh. This isn't good.
Maybe
How many hit
dead.
points you got? 5.
4.
4. Oh, God.
Yeah, 'cause you got
This
hit
isn't
last
good.
time.
6 points of damage. So you collapse and begin bleeding out.
0 and unconscious and bleeding.
Yep.
Great.
Okay, well, I got to take care of this other guard.
Oh, gee, the kitchen escapades just got serious. It's all fun and
Sure.
games and blancmanges until somebody gets killed.
Okay, so... Okay, 17. Oh, yeah.
17. Yeah,
Plus
that'll do
4,
it.
21.
9.
13.
Oh, just sliced. The battle axe does its grisly work. Bits of blood and brains go splattering into the soup. And you can't break-
Just,
You and I have to make a decision. Do we just bolt and leave Chris to die and abandon the third of the key? Or do we try and beat these other two and then haul him out? We've only got 2 rounds before he dies.
Thank God for the
Yeah.
key.
Can I do
Yeah.
an action and can I do an action and can exactly it was a really stupid idea to divide it, wasn't it?
Let's give a third to the weakest member of the party.
Well, we thought that was Will. So I so I moved back. So I jumped back across the table. And
Okay.
this is going to fail at some stage. So
And
let's
scream your head off.
Yeah,
Howl your war cry.
Which is?
I'll be fucking. Oh!
It's a 1.
Oh dear! Oh, the cake
So I
is
slam into the-
everywhere.
and I just slide.
There's
Okay.
just cake flying everywhere. The chef is shouting, "My cake! My cake!"
My kingdom for a
Waiters are
cake.
screaming. The two of you are in the cake.
Yeah, it's a real problem because I've only got 2 hit points. So if I engage these guys, I'm just going to die too.
Can you grab him and drag him under the table?
You might
No.
be able to drag him through the legs of the chef.
Well, that's what I was going to suggest. Can I get
Yeah.
under the chef? Yeah, all right. Well, I'll run over there and try and drag him from underneath the chef.
Okay, well that's a DC 12 check, so you got to beat 12.
2.
Oh, Will! You run up behind the chef and you're just basically scrabbling through his legs, and he's going, "What the hell? Who is this person?" Covered with
In
cake.
that process, he didn't accidentally overbalance the chef, did he?
Well, no, he didn't do anything abuse. He rolled a 2.
Yeah.
No, but it was trying to get through the legs. If he was so incompetent as to get tangled up in the legs in the process of going through the legs, could he have accidentally?
I'd love to give it to you, really pushing it.
Well, but that's the point. He rolled to get through the legs, and he failed that. So if he didn't get through the legs, what would he have done? Smashed into the legs.
No, he's just ineffectually scrabbling through the legs, trying to reach TBD's legs or arms.
Yep, I'm looking.
and
So
failing
far,
miserably.
I've rolled a 2, a 9, a 3, a 5, a 3, and a 2. Haven't got into double figures.
Whoa!
Unbelievable.
The light does not like you. You're obviously of the
No.
dark.
There are 2 guards on the other side of the chef, and they are now elbowing the chef out of the way. And the chef is being shoved out of the way, and they're confronting you, Will. They won't have time to take a blow, but they will next turn. As the chef is being pushed out of the way now by the guards.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so
whose
it's
turn
my-
is it?
it's
Andrew's?
my turn. Yeah,
Can you
Yes.
get up, get through the cake, and get over here?
I've got to try and jump the table again. Oh, what?
Yeah,
You can
18.
get over the table. Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
You
I
get
got-
over
well, I
the
got
table.
over the
You're already halfway. You just drag yourself up out of the cake and just go over. So let me just set the scene here. The chef is being shoved back and has sort of got his back to the fireplace and has got out of the way a bit. The guards have moved up and they're confronting Will, who's sort of half crouched down to the ground, desperately scrabbling, trying to grab Chris's body and drag him out of the way. And then Andrew, you come up behind Will.
And I roll a 2 for my D dice.
Now,
So that's...
correct me if I'm wrong. At the end of this round, Chris is going to be dead.
Yeah, which is why Will is going to scrabble to him because I'm distracted. He's still on the ground. I'm up and I'm swinging an axe and I'm distracting these two guys. So hopefully they'll be, and I'm screaming my head off and I'm calling them all sorts of names. And I'm quite obviously the
they're
greater
deeply
threat.
offended and they pull back. No, they don't.
No, but to make them angry. You're nothing but a fish, you fish. So that's...
Come on, you rolled
so
an
that's
18 to hit.
Yes, +4. So that's a hit. And then to damage is 11.
7 plus 4. 11
Oh,
damage.
right. Okay, yeah. Well, one of them is just sliced from Dave to Chops, or in fact, Chops to Nave in this particular case. Yeah, so there's only one
Chops to the-
left. So let's see if he makes a run for it, because, the guards have been dying like flies.
Yes.
And now your attentions have turned to him, which is not a good thing. So let's see. His will is +0. So 7. No, he turns around and makes a run for it. The chef is... yeah, you can get a free hack.
13.
16.
Yeah, that'll do it. Oh, the deadly battle axe, man.
5.
2 damage. 5 damage.
That's
That'll be
enough.
+3, 5.
You just almost let go of the battle axes and just do this loose-handed schlock into his back. And pull it
A
out.
loose-handed schlock. It's a technical thing. You spend many years learning the loose-handed schlock.
Right, Will, the guards are out of the way. The chef has got his back up against the fireplace. You have one chance to staunch the wounds of Chris before he dies. Of TBD
I will
before
do
he dies.
that. I'll do whatever
Right.
I can. I'll pull off my shirt and where's he wounded?
I feel lucky. Luckily,
well,
no major veins or arteries were
Actually,
hit.
while I'm pretending to staunch his
Luckily,
wounds,
no
I'll just
major
search his body
organs
for
were
his
damaged.
piece of the key.
Take the piece of the key.
It's really tempting.
Right, I'll tell you what happens.
This is Lankhmar.
You can staunch his wounds.
Absolutely.
He will remain unconscious and at 0 hit points and can't take any action. He's completely defenseless. And then, so you stop him from dying, but he's still unconscious and at 0 hit
Okay,
points.
so I'll
And
do
then
that.
after the battle, hold on. After the battle, the incapacitated character can spend 1 luck to regain a single hit point and become conscious.
I'll grab whatever cloth I can find off maybe a shirt off one of the guys we just killed, or a hand
That's
towel
kitchen,
from a
there's cloth.
waiter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll grab
There's some
that.
very attractive hand towels.
Right, I'll grab some of those. Where's he wounded?
He's
All
got a big
over.
gash to his abdomen.
Okay, well, I'll just bind it up, try and stop
Yep.
it bleeding. And then
So
can we
you-
chuck him over your shoulder, Andrew, and get the hell out of here?
First, presumably you have to roll, don't you?
No, you don't have to roll. You've staunched the wound, so
Oh.
you've stopped him from dying.
Okay,
He's
staunched.
He's still...
Okay. I'll go to the door and open the door that we think leads outside.
Okay, so you walk out and you shove your way past all these screaming waiters and waitresses who are pressed up against the walls. There's blood everywhere, entrails
Wouldn't any
all
of them
over
have
the kitchen
bolted?
floor.
Out the
Oh, yes.
out the door?
Yes. Some are bolted, but some are just absolutely terrified. And,
Oh, yeah. But the door would be open by now, surely.
Yeah, the door is open. Somebody's bolted out there. Yeah, and it's just a disgusting mixture of blancmange cake, entrails, blood, brains. Really
Cake on
dis-
blancmange.
cake. Distinguishing between edible stuff and internal organs is going to be a difficult job for somebody. I don't envy the work. A stone staircase. We're almost 2 hours in. We've been in this kitchen for 2 hours. Not in real time, of course. This all happened in about 5 minutes. And you go outside and you see that it's a stone staircase attached to the first level, which leads down to an outside area and a sort of kitchen alleyway thing to the side of the house. There's the wall of another house up against that, and you can see at the end of the alleyway there's a gate which leads out onto the street.
Okay, then we better run. Bolt.
I'll just run for it.
Okay, you get to the gate. Unfortunately, it is locked.
Okay, I'll
Gonna
try and
break
pick
it
the
down.
lock. I got a 12 plus 3 is 15.
Yep, that is successful. You get out with your new
Hey!
thieves' tools.
Oh,
Click.
God.
You pick open the lock. You swing open the gate. You're on a street. It's a relatively upper class area of Lankhmar, So you've got to head south if you want to start getting into the grottier suburbs and try and lose yourself.
Are there any carts out on the street or anything?
Yeah, yes, there is a cart. It's one of those small two-people carriages that have become fashionably recently with a horse, and there's a driver sitting in the front of it.
Presumably they're waiting for the guest from the party.
Yeah.
Right, so let's go over there, kick him off and commandeer it.
Yeah, I pull him off. I say, hi, grab him and throw him.
Make an opposed grapple test.
So it's 12.
All right, he gets 9. So yes, you grab him and pull him out of the chair, and he goes sprawling on the ground. What the fuck are you doing? No!
And we jump in.
We jump in, get the hell out of here.
Okay, and the cart goes dashing off down the fog-covered streets of Lankhmar night and down into the grottier alleyways that you know well and away from this stinking rich person's place where they're only fit to be robbed.
Killed.
And poor old Teebeedee is in the back, groaning horribly, half unconscious, coming in and out of consciousness.
Come back to consciousness.
Blood.
So where are we going to go?
That's a good question.
We've just met these. I've just met these strange people. Where am I living at the moment? I'm living on the street, probably. Is there a pub? Or is there a hotel we can go to that we know of that's discreet, reliable, and very downscale, where we could bring a wounded man in and no questions would be asked?
You do know of several very insalubrious inns in the
yellow
parts
bucket.
of town.
Silver Eel. It's got to be the Silver Eel. Let's go to the Silver Eel.
I've heard bad things about the Silver Eel.
Let's go to the Silver Eel.
It's pretty bad.
But we can't just park this thing outside the Silver Eel. So we have to dump it.
I suggest we drive there. You carry him in. I'll take it and dump it somewhere, and then come back.
Dump it, and presumably pretending that Teebeedee is pissed or something, you drag him into the Silver Eel, which is in a very sleazy little side street. Yes, the infamous Silver Eel, located out of the way on Dim Lane. Favourite watering hole for just about every social class in Lankhmar. Sailors, soldiers, tradesmen, fighting men, even slumming aristos, all regulars there. Also, enjoying a modest notoriety as the preferred drinking dive of Fafford and the Grey Mouser. So,
overrated, those guys.
No one's seen them for ages anyway. Who knows what happened to them? They've been off on some adventures. It's a dim little alleyway with a little doorway, and when you go through the door, it leads to some steps which step down to the lower floor of the Silver Eel, which is just packed dirt. And it's full of people carousing, the slamming of tankards, the sound of laughter and rough conversation, and there's a thick level of smoke haze at the ceiling level. And yes, you all stagger in, and everyone just assumes that Teebeedee is pissed, even though he's being held up
or been mugged. So I walk up to him and said, "Mate's been stabbed by some bastards in an alley. We need a room."
Oh yeah, we can accommodate you for that. That will be 5 silver smootix.
5.
Is that
Jesus,
remotely
for a night in
reasonable?
the Silver Eel?
Yeah, well, you want a room on your own, don't you? Or do you want to just share the
Luckily, it's not the gold
common
eel.
room? It only costs you 10 copper if you want to share the common room with the other thieves and muggers and people who have been stabbed in the abdomen.
No,
You can burn it down later, Farthead.
You slam it over, and a young serving wench comes out from behind the counter and leads you up to upper floor. And it's just, the place is just falling apart and disgusting and rising damp and peeling paint. And finds you a small room with 2 cots in it that could barely be called beds. She says, "Thank you very much, sir," and leaves.
Uh-huh.
And you dump him on the bed where he's groaning and bleeding. Should we call it?
Awesome. Yeah.
Sure.